Life is great. And yeah, money I feel like is just a byproduct of you really feeling aligned with yourself. The people who say I'm not in it for the money are the same people who have issues with money. It was a big moment, a long time coming, and I felt very accomplished. It's really self-respect.
Is it humanly possible to be a solopreneur, having a full-time 9 to 5 and a side hustle that's barely giving you $1,000 or $2,000 a month, to go from that to making $26,000 a month? Quitting your 9 to 5 to practice your passion full-time? All that and more in today's video. Stay tuned. Welcome, Bridge. I'm going to take a back seat here, and I'm going to have you talk about yourself. So introduce yourself to us. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, so I'm an Ayurveda health counselor. If nobody knows what Ayurveda is, it's a holistic system of medicine that's based in nature. And so I mainly help people who have like chronic fatigue, adrenal fatigue, any sort of toxicity at all, inflammation, digestive issues, because Ayurveda considers the digestive system the master system of the body. So that's like the first thing that we fix. And I take people through a customized diet and lifestyle plan. So it's all based on their mind and body type. So everything I do is like super customized and super detailed for what they need. Because typically people come to me and they've tried so many different things and nothing usually works, or they'll have like all of these blood tests or all of these scans and labs and taking all these supplements and like nothing's working, or they're getting worse or whatever else. And so that's where Ayurveda really comes in. Ayurveda comes in technically before then, but that's where people usually come to Ayurveda to help resolve those issues with very, very simple diet and lifestyle so that the body can heal itself. So That's in a nutshell kind of what I do.
I've seen the miracles you do. I mean, you get people off their medication in like a week's time, which blew my mind. So I know that you've built an incredible business and you've had incredible amounts of success, but let's back up a bit to the before. What did your business look like before? What did you look like before? Tell us a little bit about that.
I looked crazy. I looked like a crazy person. But I was like, I had a lot of clients. I had probably like 10 to 12 clients at a time. And I was taking home probably around like maybe under 2K a month. I think my record month was like 2.5K. And so I had a lot of clients, like a large volume, and I was broke. So I was burnt out, broke, and had no time. So I was just really, really stressed. And I didn't feel like I was being compensated correctly, because when I really break everything down that I do, it's much more than like a health coach. It's much more than, this is medicine. We're using food as medicine. So it's much more. And the amount of customization that I do for clients, it takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of energy. The amount of time that I spend with them, even outside of appointments and crafting their whole thing, that's what really moves the needle in the right direction for them. But I have to do that. It takes a lot of my time and energy to do that. So I was just completely undercharging, grossly undercharging for my services. And so I had to do a big fat purge and raise my prices and just reconstruct everything that I was doing, not so much from an Ayurvedic standpoint, but more from like a business standpoint of what I was doing. And that's how, you helped me take control over my business.
So yeah, I remember having a conversation about you where you were like, yeah, I have no time. I'm just working too many hours a day. I don't have time. And I was like, but you're not making any money. So where's that time going? So, all right. So just briefly tell us, how did you end up working in Record Month? How did you end up enrolling? What did that look like? Why Record Month in particular? What was that?
Yeah. So I just knew that I had to do something, because I've seen this pattern within myself of being burnt out. And I'm a very go with the flow person. So if somebody's like, I want to come on, but I only have this amount of money. I'll be like, oh yeah, come on. And then, it's that being so go with the flow just made me sort of crash and burn. So I just, yeah, you got me at a point where I was just very much so faced with the decision of like, either this has to stop and I need to go another way because this is not sustainable. And I don't want Ayurveda, this like very wise system, this very honorable system, to be tarnished by my own burnout and the skill that I have to be, burnt away and just like wasted because I can't price correctly. And I can't, or I can't manage this business correctly. And so I just had to make a decision. It's either keep going on the path that you're going on or, do something different and fix your shit. And fix your shit. And I needed to stop what I was doing. I needed to take some time off and I needed to recalibrate.
All right. So one of the questions I always get from people is, what do you do? And like, what do you make people do? How do you make people work less? So tell us what working in Record Month, what working with me was like. What was it like? What did I make you? Did I make you do more or less? What did that look like? What were the aha moments that you had? Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I definitely have the too much gene, but I guess I come from a background of just knowing that you have to work hard for money or to be successful in general. And so with me, that meant like doing a bunch of posting, which I just found just mentally exhausting, or doing a bunch of stuff in order to get clients, and then having like certain things that I needed to say in order to onboard clients. And so I just realized when working with you that I don't need to do that. It really just, I am naturally able to connect with people. It's more of a natural process. It's like everything that you do, it comes from the heart. And if it comes from the heart and is truly authentic to you, and you forget all the rest and forget all the rules and you forget all the other BS that's in the way, and you just do it and you do it from here, things just sort of happen and you don't need to try. There's no trying to be yourself. You just are yourself. And I think that was just a big game changer, because I had always been told the opposite. Always been told that you need to do this, you need to say that, you need to do, you need to post, you need to do all of this stuff. But the big turning point was just stopping that voice in my head and saying like, no, I don't need to do anything. I can just talk about Ayurveda. I can just, talk about what's in my heart, and that will be enough. It's enough.
Yeah, I recall having a discussion with you because you were pretty brave right in the first month. You were okay with raising your prices. You were okay with purging, you call it purging, letting go of an entire customer set. And I remember a particular conversation where you were like, yeah, if I let these people go, where's the money going to come from? And we had a discussion about orienting you towards making money versus hanging on to what little money you had and worrying about it. And then a term that you taught me that I now use, future tripping. Future tripping is what I learned from you. That's something I used to do as well, just mentally just tripping about, oh my God, what? And I remember one time you specifically asking me, yeah, what else do I need to do? What else do I need to do? What else can I? And I was like, nothing. You need to do less. You need to have a good time. So what was perhaps your biggest aha moment in this entire journey? What's been your biggest? You've had a hell of a journey. So, and you've shifted into it very well. You've embraced it very well. You're not like, oh, did I get lucky? Did I do this? I mean, you were able to quit your 9 to 5, which is what most entrepreneurs dream of, and you've been thinking about it for a year. So you're finally able to do it. So tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah. So I think my aha moments have really been the stuff that we've talked about, like just charging more And I was so ready to charge more just because I really sat down with myself and I looked at what I was charging and the amount of transformation I was doing for people and the amount of work I was putting in, and it just wasn't compensated for. And I had come to this aha moment of thinking that the people who say I'm not in it for the money are the same people who have issues with money. And I had said that for so long. I'm not in it for the money, like I'll do this for free and whatever else. But I also had horrible issues with money because I wasn't getting paid and I wasn't getting, my time or energy wasn't being compensated for. And I didn't really have respect for myself because of that. And so that was like a big aha moment for me. It's like, no, and any time in the future now that I'm like, oh, maybe I should charge a little bit less for this because somebody's not going to do it, because it's just, well, what about me? It's what about the respect that I have for my own time and the respect that I have for this craft, for Ayurveda. I think this is very common in healers and other people who do similar work to what I do. Is we usually charge like not a lot because it's bad. We think it's, it's like we feel bad about it or guilty that we're charging for this work, but it is so much work and I cannot pour from an empty cup. I cannot be the best healer that I can be, and I cannot do what I do without being compensated in some sort of way. And the way that we're being compensated in this material world is through money. Like that's a very literal compensation that we have for the work that we do and the transformation that we give. And so I can't be burnt out and broke and then work on people's customized case and do all of this stuff and answer all of their questions and and help people to the best of my ability. And so that was like a really, really big aha moment. And just coming from that place where I'm respecting myself enough, it brought in a whole new bunch of people. It brought in a whole new target market. It brought in other people who also respect themselves. It brought in small business owners who are not victims. They are ready to solve these issues and they're serious about it. And so me really changing myself brought better people to me, and it brought me more money, literally. And but it all stems from just honestly respect for myself at the end of the day.
So money is one aspect of the changes you experienced. And you've been experiencing a multitude of things as you've progressed. So how has life in general or your business changed now for you, besides the money?
Life is great. Life is great. And yeah, money, I feel like is just a byproduct of you really feeling aligned with yourself. And like before we officially started working together, I went to the beach by myself because that's like my alignment place. That's me traveling alone. I know that's what I need to do. And then I sat down and I focused on the stuff that you had me doing as a little prep before we started working together. And I was just completely alone by myself. And from that moment forward, I've just been like very, very much so. My whole life has sort of turned around. I don't even really identify with that person who I was before, who was undercharging and burnt out and broke. That's like, that's not even me at all. So everything has gotten better. Everything just seems brighter and just better. Because this is a big pharmacy. This is a big pharmacy, and your gut is a big pharmacy. I've always had my gut with Ayurveda. That's always good. And also I work a lot with Ayurveda, but just having that missing link for myself and really practicing what I preach. It's nice to have a coach. Nice for a coach to have a coach, because you really get to practice what you preach, and you have somebody there holding you accountable for all the things that you help other people with. So it just makes you better.
Makes a lot of sense. How easy is it now for you to get clients, for you to get sales? How has that changed?
I would say that it's easy for sure. It's like, it's just natural. I don't know if easy is the right word. It's more natural. It's more like, it's like nature. Nature, you know, the sun rises and it sets. It's just kind of like, it's like the sun will rise tomorrow. And I know, I'm confident that it will. And it's just kind of like, it's kind of like that. Things are just coming to me more, and the right people are coming to me. The people who really need my help and who are also willing to help themselves are coming to me. And yeah, it's just that sort of vibe of having those people is what makes the sunrise and sunset and everything just be very, very natural, because it's coming from the right place.
Absolutely. What was it like finally to quit your day job? Because I know that was eating into your schedule. First of all, you'd be busy from early in the morning to late in the evening. So you'd be burnt out. You wouldn't have any time for anything else. And then the next day, you would spend half the day you would spend recovering from the previous day. So you wouldn't have time to do anything. You were just recovering. And because we worked 5 days, you were losing 2 days out of 5 because of that, which you now have back. So what's it like? Because a lot of people speak about it, dream about it. Most people aren't able to do it.
Yeah, and I know many small business owners who have a day job that they work and to help supplement their income and stuff. And a year ago, this is crazy. A year ago, I was working 4 jobs, including this one. And then I whittled it down to, my job that I was working at a hospital. So my job at the hospital with my business. So then I was working like a couple days a week in my business. And then I was working 1 day a week in my business. And so I had for, I don't know, probably like 6-7 months or so, I was working 1 day a week at the hospital and then the rest of the time for my business. And letting go of that, it was a big pivotal moment for me, because it was, I started in Western medicine. That's how I started this journey. I started, working in Western medicine. I found out that there's more that needs to be done. There's a lot of missing links when it comes to Western medicine. And so kind of leaving that behind, I mean, I'll always have my license and stuff like that, but leaving that behind and really focusing on this like beautiful medical system, Ayurveda. And it's just like it's like an art. It's like amazing. It's like an orchestra. It was just a big moment for me to do that, for me to break away from the standardized allopathic way to fully now this holistic, natural way of doing things. So yeah, it was a big moment, a long time coming, and I felt very accomplished to have gotten to that level. And it's only up.
That's awesome. Yeah, there's only one way left for you, which is further onwards and upwards, and we've been talking about that. Thank you very much, Bridge. Do you have any advice for the people who are watching this, who are going to watch this, who are going to tune in, other people in your situation? Do you have any advice for them? Do you have any words?
Yeah, I think kind of going back to what I was saying before, like make sure that you're really respecting yourself. And I learned, and I actually put this into my practice of this ideology behind like self-care and stuff. And not that what we were doing together was self-care, but it's really self-respect. It's really about having the respect for yourself enough to be compensated for. And that's really it. It's kind of black and white. And to just kind of do everything from your heart, do everything authentically. And if it doesn't feel right, if it doesn't feel authentic to you, then don't do it, because it's not going to work out. Everything works out if you do it authentically and really know, and having it sort of pour out of you. And that's being in the flow, and that's getting things to you naturally. And how, like I was talking about before, all these things coming to me naturally. It starts there. So yeah.
I couldn't agree more. That's been my approach. It's probably why you and I connect so well. It's just, I concur, and I resonate with the same. You have to be who you are. You have to play to your strengths and you have to stop pretending to be someone else. Hey guys, I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you found it inspiring. I'm going to link another video right here of another entrepreneur who's done a great job, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.